Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome to another video. Today we're going to get started on the G.I. Joe Classified Sergeant Slaughter. Don't mind me. I'm whatever. Anyway, let's get started. Super behind in terms of actually reviewing this guy. It's been a hell of a time just in general of doing things. And I'm out here doing my best, trying to make sure that I get around to doing the things that I want to do. And I very much enjoy doing G.I. Joe and Action Force stuff, and even though I don't know guns, I've always enjoyed these kind of things. So it's really weird for me. But anyway, let's talk about Slaughter. I enjoy this toy very much because not only of the kid bashing potential, but the simple fact that it brings me back to my Saturday morning cartoon days, which is always a high and fun delight for me. So with that being said, let's jump to it. We have a really nice lower body, which I believe is based off of thinner parts, mostly used with what's its face? Not Roadblock, but they use thinner parts, and I'm gonna go with like Duke and Flint, those type of legs, and then not. Oh, they are pinless, but oh, the arms aren't pinless if I remember correctly. But we have thinner legs, but we have a bigger upper torso. We also have these legs are also slightly bigger, so it's crazy because he's actually taller than other Joes, and we'll see that in the size comparison. But it's really cool because actually, let me take this because these are actually considered accessories, but they are the definitive look for him. But as you can see here, we actually have a really nice look about how Slaughter used to look. And if I get in a little closer, definitely has a look. Whereas I believe the Valorverse and Action Force ones definitely get the dynamic of the chin better. I definitely feel like theirs, in response to this one, is more animated, but I'm okay with that because I love the animated look. Whereas this one aims for the less DIC look and more of the comics look. So I'm really happy to have potential for both. I love the tank top. I wish it was pinless too, but totally fine and happy with that. We can hit our T-pose with no problem. We have an arm and bicep swivel. We are highly posable double jointed. We have our butterfly joint, which because of the way the torso design, you can't get fully in and out, but it is good enough for what you want to do. So when you want to flex, you can indeed flex very nicely. That's actually a bad flex, but there we go. This looks a lot better. As far as our neck potential, when we pop the head sculpt off, we actually use the older ball joint, as you can see here. So getting certain articulation is a little easier with this type of ball joint. I feel like with the new neck joint, it's a little too much tightness in there. I've dremeled it a little bit to give it more range, and it's definitely one of those cases where they haven't figured out the neck joint tolerances yet. But I definitely like this one for Slaughter. It is indeed a very nice move. We have the old school drop down ab crunch as opposed to the more rotund one that we get with Bazooka. We have our beautiful, beautiful lower ab crunch, which allows for so much more movement and fluidity in the figure. Beautiful double joint. We have a thigh swivel. We have a boot swivel as well. That generous ankle pivot. So then when we want to do running poses or running lariats and things like that, all of that stuff is very much possible, which I indeed love, right? Or if you want to hurdle over something, definitely want to snap that neck back a little bit more. Let's say you want to hurdle. We actually want to get some good poses. There we go. Yeah. This is that solid stuff right there. Real American hero, G.I. Joe is there. Actually, let me fix my focus. But yeah, don't mind me. I'm just getting into it. Yeah. This looks really solid. Now, in terms of our accessories, this is the highlight for me with Slaughter that I have very much enjoyed, is that Slaughter comes with extra hands that I really, really love. And I feel like a lot of other figures should come with it. I feel like that's the one thing that Valorverse has out of the gate is more hands and accessories universally to their line. And I feel like once G.I. Joe does that, it's definitely going to be, people are going to be buying more than doubles and stuff. So, right, let's jump into our accessories, and I'll see you guys in a sec. Now, let's talk about the accessories. And it's funny because I started with the hat and his whistle on because Sergeant Slaughter's still an instructor. He gets people ready. Sergeant Marauders. Sergeant Slaughter Marauders. Yeah. No, don't worry about me. Whatever. But let's talk about the fact that one of the things that I've truly enjoyed is that they gave Slaughter a bunch of hands, like the Valorverse one. It is definitely needed. So let's talk about those hands. You will get... Oop, I'm all over the place. You will get actually... Oop. I have some debris in there with me. Sorry about that. So you'll actually get open gripping hands, which I absolutely love. I love the idea of these. Really fantastic. You will get 2 trigger hands for holding weapons. This is very important, especially because he does come with a weapon. You'll see the 2 closed fists on him, just in case you don't see it. Now I'm on there. There we go. All right. You will get a pointing hand as well. Oh, sorry, you get 2 pointing hands. Pointing, pointing, pointing. Make sure that's always covered. You'll actually get a very tiny Sergeant Slaughter 3 1/4 inch that is relative to his 6-inch scale. So this is his 3 1/4 inch figure, which I find hilarious that he comes with that. You will also get this baton, or I don't some sort of club. I don't know the name of it, and I apologize in advance. But we have this. This is his instructor's club, is what I'm going to call it. And then we have this assault rifle, which actually, as you can see, I do not have the scope or the magazine inside. So when we add our scope here, let me actually add it properly. So we have a scope. Wait, there it is. I had to turn this to the side. So we have a scope here on the side, or is it a sight, depending on which weapon it is. I want to make sure I learn these terms. I'm trying to commit that to memory. And I like the little brown paint job that they gave it. It's actually pretty nice. But this is a nice, I don't want to call it an AK, but it is an assault rifle. That much I do know. So there we have that. Looking pretty solid. Ooh. Last but not least, the last thing we want to cover is going to be our hat, whistle, and glasses. And that's because when I put them on, I want to show you, just in case you don't know and you're getting slaughtered somehow before I've actually gotten this review out, because I'm pretty sure you should have it before me at this point. I've actually waited a while to do this, but I did want to make sure that I covered it. You can actually just put the whistle right over his head, put it around his neck, and it sits there ever so nicely. But as far as the glasses go, you put them on the head, and they do sit there properly, but the hat, the way you put it on, actually helps the glasses stay there and on point. And somehow Slaughter never ever drops his hat or glasses. So, always important. Ever important lesson. But he actually looks really solid like this. It looks really, really good. And I do like the idea of it. Just sitting there, looking really cool. No backpack needed. Sergeant Slaughter just doing Sergeant Slaughter stuff. But without further ado, what we are going to do is we're going to jump into the size comparisons. This is where it gets fun, and I didn't realize how big he was. And you'll see when I compare him up to some other figures. See you guys in a second. Alright guys, now we're going to jump into the size comparison. Obviously, the first things first is we want to put him up size-wise with the Valiverse one, because you just want to see how they compare size-wise and look-wise. So just in case you want to do that, let me just put his hat on. And then now we have these 2 guys. Now, it's crazy because Valiverse stuff is technically bigger than most of the Hasbro stuff. So it's crazy to see that their Slaughter is bigger. I did not expect that. So, but I do like each one for different reasons. Like I said, we have that animated chin there. And also, this is V1. I actually like the V2 one better. But they do carry the more iconic weapons for him, which actually do work for this one. So that's, again, you kind of need both now because they work hand in hand. There's that synergy, baby. Synergy. But with that being said, though, let's compare him with some other G.I. Joe stuff and then with some other lines. So, I'll see you guys. Just to show you how big he is, here he is with American Ninja Warrior. And as you can see, American Ninja Warrior is tiny compared to him. And yes, that is a joke, just in case you think I'm serious about it. Here we are with Stalker, my main man, 50 grand, right? I'm going to make sure he's standing up straight so you guys can see that there is a big size difference. And as you can see, Slaughter is much bigger than these guys. Even if you move on to something else like a bat, here we are with a Python Patrol bat. And even with bats, he's like towering over the bats. Then we got Special Color Destro, is what I'm going to call it, so I don't get in trouble on this channel. Then we have someone like Duke, Python Patrol Duke, which I need to review him in Zorana. Speaking of, here's also Zorana, so you can see how tiny she is as well. Then when you compare him to Roblox, you see that they are the same size, just that they went a different route with those legs and those proportions, but it really does work for Slaughter. It really, really does. And I like the look of it. It's one of those, he didn't skip leg day, but he's lean and mean down there. Here he is next to a Marvel Legends Black Panther, which is also of the 6-inch line. If you want to cross-reference it, and make sure he battles like preform Serpentor, or you want to make it up. Here he is with a Mythic Legion, and even he's squaring up with a Mythic Legion in terms of size, which is pretty crazy, right? Ooh, we need a Mezco. I do happen to have one here, which is pretty good. We have a Black Skull, which uses the Gomez style body, a more thinner type body. So here we are with a Mezco. Oh, and I do have Serpentor here. I just did not take him out of the bag. But we're going to do that real quick because I did it in the Serpentor review. I want to make sure I cover it for both. So you'll hear bags opening up in the background. Yes, yes. So here we are. Well, last but not least, Serpentor for the review. You could probably see them duke it out later. And Serpentor is probably the biggest G.I. Joe to date in terms of body wise. So there we have it. That about wraps it up because I don't. Oh, in case you want to see a Mofex, I think that's the only other one I think I can compare to. I actually have a Solar Suit Superman here. All right. And as far as SHF, I have none right here because I'm actually redoing my shells. So I don't have any here with me. But you know those guys are tiny. In this case, no. I've had a lot of fun with Slaughter, just having them sit on my desk with ages. If you watch any of my Instagram stories, you know I always have a ton of stuff on the desk. He's been there for a while, so it's good to get around to finally reviewing him, having some fun. So I hope you see me enjoy myself as I do him versus Army Builders. Try to have some of the Slaughter Marauders in there. And thank you for watching and being patient and watching my stuff, even though I'm not the first to do everything. And I've kind of been on a very lax trip trying to put out more quality for self and you guys. So that has been a wild journey of self-discovery. So thank you for your patience. And as always, if you see my stuff and you like it, you want to share it, you want to comment on it, you want to go and tell people nice things, I appreciate it. If not, that's also cool too. But as always, please be good, do good, drink your water, guys. Later.